Yes, it is showtime on a Wednesday night. Sorry, guys, I wasn't around yesterday. Here, it's Bobby Legs co-hosting to this evening. Marcus, hey, Marcus, how are you, man? This is like 4 weeks in a row or something like that. This is great.
I'm doing my best. I'm on a win streak.
Yeah, yeah, you're like Joe DiMaggio. You're like the modern day Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah, It's gonna happen. I'm gonna break the record.
You're gonna break the. You're gonna go for 57 weeks in a row. That's over a year, man. That's all
Yeah, we
right.
can do it.
Well, okay. Hey, what do you have on wrist tonight?
What do I have on wrist? Sorry, I'm not in the
Yeah,
video. Got the Submariner,
very
the
nice.
Kermit. Yeah,
Very nice. Oh,
Starbucks, whatever you want to call it.
like I think like eventually I want to get the Submariner back, but I think I'm gonna do something like the Starbucks or a sermon or one of those a different variation than in just the regular no date version that I had before, because although it's a great one of the best watches, probably the best watch I ever owned. Um, but I just need a little slight more pizzazz to it. Do you know what I mean?
You should get
I
a
guess
bluesy. I don't think don't go too fancy. Just get a bluesy.
bluesy. I love the bluesy. I love the modern bluesy, like the one that I don't like the '90s or early 2000s versions. I like
You mean the one that Archie Luxury shouts about?
yeah yeah
You
yeah
don't
yeah
like that
yeah.
one?
No no no. I like the case. I like the case now. I like the overall product now. I feel like it's just a hardier watch, right? Um, so I'm not I'm not necessarily like a vintagey kind of Rolex kind of guy. I like the most modern that you can get. I like all of them, except for those 5 digit Explorer twos. I do like those more than what we have version now. But I mean, what we have now is great too. So um, yeah, that's just a matter of preference. I got the Damasco DC 56 on a rubber strap. Hey, look, chat, just to let you know, I mean, yesterday we had some pretty bad weather here in the Northeast. I wasn't sure if I was going to have power last night. That's why I postponed it to today. And while we kept, were lucky enough to, have power, basement did flood a little bit. So I was managing that all day while working and with the kids. So I'm pretty beat, and so there's a good chance that may not make the whole hour. But we're gonna try. We're gonna try. Marcus, what do you say? Let's say hello to the chat first
Sounds
before
good.
before we talk about watches. Hey, Bill K is here. How you doing, Bill? Stefan is here. What's going on? Marceau, how you doing? Wearing his Angenour this evening. James is here. Good to see you. Mr. Steve Time Hill is here. Maison is here. Good to see you wearing the Moser Heritage. Love that watch. Ep, hey, Ep, EPRFA, what is going on? Good to see you. Rick's here. Good to see you, Rick. Colin's here wearing the funky blue Moser tonight. Greetings to you, Wayben. How you doing? Mr. Scatterbrain's here. Stefan wearing his 40 millimeter Pioneer center seconds. A lot of Mosers on the chat today, right? Um,
Seems like it.
Michael B's here. Ken Spear checking in from Pittsburgh. Good to see you. Oh, and Chaz is here using my imagination since no pick of your Pepsi. Okay. Joey B. Hello, Joey B. Wait, Halios Orange Seafirth. Very nice watch. Bruno, good to see you, my friend. Let's see. Oh, Mr. Caliber YQG is here. Good to see you. Hey, James, how you doing, James? Good to see you. Keith, what is up? Low energy, Rob. Saying so. Yeah, sorry, Rick. Yeah, low energy. But yeah, we're gonna try to push through. Hey, Hobby Bobby's here. Good to see you, Hobby Bobby. And Mr. Speaking of another Bobby, Watch Medicine. Bobby, he's wearing his Singer Track One. Very, very nice. KR Joy is here. Good to see you, KR. Hey, uh, I didn't know if you caught Marcus's. I don't know if you caught Mr. Masso's. Hey, Amin, how you doing?
Hey guys.
Good to see you.
Okay.
Uh, I was about to jump in with the topic this evening. What do you? How are you?
Good.
And
Good.
and, and what do you got on wrist this evening?
I've been wearing the Romain Jerome today.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's a great watch. I had that
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
You started the trend. You're the trend center. It was you. It was then Watch Chris. Watch
Yep.
Chris. I think probably got that watch because of you. He won't say it, but I think he did. If he's watching, I mean,
I
Hobby
think we all
Bobby.
got it around the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, you were a good 6 months ahead of us. Don't sell yourself short. Um, well, look, I mean, like, I don't know, Marcus. I don't know if you caught Tim Masso's stream last night, but he had an interesting topic, and the topic I'll probably talk about and watch Soup. So it's a little bit of a preview, and he mentioned, like, 6 myths
Mm,
that he about watch collecting, purchasing, that he wanted to debunk, and one of them was, like, young people are not into watches, and based on his experience,
mm,
and his analytics, right, of his channel, he doesn't necessarily agree with that statement. Like, he was just in Dubai, and a lot of younger guys were coming up to him talking about watches and stuff, and again, like I said, his analytics show that he got a quite little chunk of the population there, from 18 to 24, that are watching his videos. But anyway, so got me thinking, like, some watch myths that are just myths, right? Or maybe we disagree with something that is almost considered to be factual, but it's really, really not. And while you guys are thinking about that, I have a couple in mind, of course, and topics that we always talked about. Like, I think it's a myth, and I don't know if it's necessarily a myth or more of like a rule of thumb. And we could expand that, right? This doesn't have to be technically myths, but always buy when you're buying a watch, buy it on the bracelet, right?
mm.
Because, well, if you buy the bracelet after the fact, it's going to be more expensive, and with straps, you can always replace straps here and there. I find that not necessarily true. I used to buy into that because I've heard it so much from
Mm,
people saying it. But there's a lot of watches, like, when I think Zen, like, now, like, I wouldn't. My first option is not to buy it on the bracelet. I would rather buy it on a strap and rubber, because their bracelets are okay. They're not great, but I think their timepieces look better on anything but the bracelet. Anything anything come to mind,
I
Ahmed?
think that's a good one. Like when I got the um, Damasco recently, I remember you saying that the bracelet was not your favorite, right? Yeah. Yeah.
It's a really heavy bracelet.
Mm, mm,
And I mean, look, it's
yeah.
it's 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 overbuilt. It's
Mm, mm.
great. I'd rather have a Damasco bracelet than a Zen bracelet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think a lot of watches. I like your one though. I think a lot of watches look better on straps and some better on bracelets. It's a
Mhm.
case by case basis, but you do hear that advice when you're starting out to always buy it. And I think that um, a lot of times is because buying it separately costs more, and
Yeah.
there's this idea about resale value. And I think even too much thinking about resale value is another one,
Mm.
we could add to the list, right? Just
Yeah.
the because I feel like you can end up buying stuff that you don't like as much or you wouldn't want as much if you put too much emphasis on resale value. And I mean, value matters, money matters. That's why I buy a lot of stuff pre-owned, right?
Hmm. Right.
But maybe sometimes it takes us places that are not the best. One other one I had in mind is related to resale value. I think a lot of people say to buy the limited editions
Mm.
or the rare variants of something.
Hmm.
And I think sometimes brands they save their best, like they do their best work on the regular variant. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's why it's the regular variant. It's like this is our best, right? So we're gonna make it our cornerstone. And you can chase like the
Like a Speedmaster, right? Like a moonwalk.
Speedmaster's a good example, right?
El Primero is a better example. I've
Yeah.
seen so many shitty El
Well,
Primero limited editions.
that's
That's
probably
the
that's
worst.
that's probably the ultimate example because
But there's
that
a lot of good limited edition
there are.
El Primeros, but a lot of bad ones for sure.
Yeah, but I think with a lot of brands, right? You maybe like the the colors that they make available for their regular ones look really really good, right? And then maybe they make like a very small limited run of some kind of color that's like a little but then there's that appeal like I'm going to have the rare one It's going to hold value well. All good. Like I do like rarity or scarcity too. Like I'm not saying I don't, but if it leads you, if you ask yourself like, do I like this watch as much as the regular one? And if it's no, then I think it's
Mm,
it's a trap.
yeah. Uh, Marcus, any thoughts?
Well, lesser, I guess on a smaller scale than yours. I'm a pin buckle guy over deployant. It's
Oh,
much better fit. Feels better on it's you can get a snugger fit, and it just feels better on the wrist. In terms of the profile, I don't like the deployant of butting under the underside of my wrist. So
yeah. And people will
I'm a
swear
pin
by the
buckle over that.
yeah, and people will swear by deployant. They're like, you get the deployant. You know what I mean? It's people are
Mm-hmm.
just like, just in case it unsnaps or I mean, like, there's like a little sense of security more with a deployant per se, or
My
value.
my
Yeah.
freaking Moser deployant comes undone all the freaking time.
My paddock deployant, like it'll fall off my wrist. I changed to a tang buck. I mean
Yeah,
the deployant, a well functioning deployant working as intended has some built in safety, right? Because when you're putting it on, it's not going to fall off.
Yeah.
Um, but depending on how the strap is, how the deployment works, like the way the paddock one is, if the hole just got a little bigger from just use, and now that thing can really like fall off.
yeah.
Hmm.
I'm just super careful. I like my watch case is situated over the carpeted area of
Mm,
a
mm.
room.
Oh yeah.
I always
Yep.
open my watch. I always change my watches over the watch case,
Yeah.
and then I'm just into the Tang. The Tang is a much better um,
Yeah, I,
fit on
I
the wrist.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. A couple more, like, yeah, I'm skirting the myth thing because it's mostly not really myths, I guess technically, but something like and maybe this is more for somebody who is not um deep down the watch rabbit hole, or doesn't have the experience as we do, but somebody who's new, or who's just barely interested in watches but want to get to watch, like buying something new. Like, you
Mm,
gotta buy something new.
hmm
And I think, when I first started getting back into collecting, like, that was my mindset. Of course you gotta buy something new. Like, and I wasn't really aware of the secondary pre-owned, or the pre-owned market, as much as I did. Through experience, through meeting people and bouncing off ideas, and listening to other people's experiences, I now pretty much exclusively buy on the pre-owned market, because I think, why it's like buying a used car. Like, let the new owner take a hit on that, in most
hmm
cases.
hmm
And I feel like you can get like some great value with a watch in great condition. Now, you can't just like be inexperienced and then jump into this pool and start doing that, because there are a lot of things you have to look out for. But the whole idea that you have to buy new, and I know some people who are in collecting feel that way. They want to be the first owner, but you don't necessarily have to do that, right? And to enjoy this hobby. What do you guys think about that? I mean, I know you buy pre-owned.
I feel I definitely, if somebody values very much being the first new and it means a lot to them and they want it perfect and they want the experience or anything, that's great for them, but I'm with you.
Yeah. Kelly's really enjoying wearing that orange G-Shock that she won
That's
on
awesome.
I think it was a live giveaway, live stream giveaway. Um, let's see here. Caliber is saying, you're not missing much with the Zen bracelet. It's true. It's true. James is saying, I am a basic B, but I usually prefer regular releases. Um, that Band-Aid colored Hodinky Zenith. Oh, not a big fan. Hobby Bobby saying, I'm 100% deploying guy because I must preserve the straps at all costs. We need to put Hobby Bobby on the couch one day here.
That's funny.
Like analyzing him, not anything else weird that people do on couches. Anyway, Wayman says, I'm all about the deploying. Given a choice, though, it's harder to get a good one. Seiko actually has among the best.
Mm.
Um, Rick saying, for me, some pin buckles fit better and other watches deploying is better. It just depends. Fair
Yeah.
enough. James saying my house has no carpet. It's like holding your watches over a cliff.
When I remember to,
That's a
I
good.
change my watch over the bed because it'll,
Yeah,
soft
yeah,
bed,
yeah, yeah,
comforter. Yeah.
yeah. Buying the bracelet if the manufacturer makes a good bracelet. Um, that's what Kevin S had to say. Yeah, I mean, like some bracelets look are worth it. I agree. But I don't think like I was of the mindset that no matter what the watch was, I had to get the bracelet with it. You know what I mean? Because I had heard that so many times. And now through my experience, that's not necessarily the case for me. But if the bracelet is good, you definitely got to get it. Sin Fine Link bracelet is a very good one. That
Mm.
is true. That is true. Um, how about this other one? Box and papers. You need to get box and papers. You have to get box and papers.
There so I have bought both ways. Um, More often with than without, but plenty without. Um, Box really doesn't matter to me.
Hmm.
Um, Papers eliminates the very slight thing in my mind that's like, could this have been stolen at some point and then sold?
Yeah,
That's the only thing.
yeah,
The reason that matters to me.
yeah. Marcus.
I can't speak from experience. All my
Mhm.
watches are full kit. I've never owned
Yeah, yeah,
a watch only, an only watch thing,
Mm.
only
yeah,
watch package. So
yeah. I would say like um, I've definitely bought new right, and that comes with box papers. I bought pre-owned with box papers. It's certainly not a requirement. I mean, look, there's still something in the back of my mind, right? That if I would ever to buy like a pre-owned Rolex, like I would need the box of papers. I don't know why, but maybe because it's because of fear of like fakes out there. A friend, someone I know, showed me a bluesy, a fake, and this person's not into watches, but just wanted to watch, and uh, and I was like, oh my god, that's really good. That's
Mm.
a really good fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it looked pretty. I mean, like I wasn't like staring at it for long, but like glimpsing at it really quickly, I was like, that's impressive. And so I think like with that kind of those kind of brands, like anything that I'm probably going to be investing a lot of money in, I think I feel a little bit better with box bears. Now, if I'm going to buy like a used Damasco pre-owned, I'm, if it doesn't have, nobody's faking these first of all,
Yeah.
and and I really don't need boxing papers with it when it comes to that.
Yep.
You know. Um, hey, Sam, casual watch reviews. Boxing papers important for high value watches. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fair enough. That's I'm with you there.
Yeah. Vintage is really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Bruno saying the best bracelet he's ever owned is Damasco, but getting that perfect fit is a bit of a challenge. Um, Joey B says he likes his collar GMT's watches on the point. Um, I'd rather box and papers, but I have a few naked ones, says Marceau. Um, regarding box and papers, I'm mostly a box and paper collector. I have purchased a few pieces without, but only from highly reputable dealers. Yeah, and I think that plays a part of it too, right? Like I'm more willing to take a chance on the seller of a watch that has no box of papers if I fairly trust that seller, or that just has a seller has a really good reputation. Um, Marcel saying I'm always a box and papers guy, but I'm a completionist. I bought a 2009 Navitimer papers was only the warranty
Mm.
card, and I went out to eBay and hunted down all the other stuff that came in with it new.
I
see,
know
that's why
somebody
box and
like
papers
that.
don't matter because you can actually just go hunt down paper,
You
all that stuff.
you
Mhm.
can hunt down boxes for sure,
Yeah.
and yep.
Yeah.
Kevin's saying I enjoy having a full kit, but would buy without under the right circumstances. Yeah, I'm totally with you, Kev, on that one. Um, yeah. Any others? Any other chat? Any other myths or you know rule of thumbs that collecting that you think is out of whack or whatnot. Anyway, I'll leave it out there.
Maybe the myth um of the generational watch. I feel
Ah,
like I
uh-huh.
feel like everyone who's currently I feel like the watches that get passed down are watches that aren't owned by watch people.
Mm.
I think it's a paradox, but I suspect that the vast majority of watches that we own will not get passed down, mostly because A, we're degenerate flippers, and B, our kids might not share
Yeah,
our interests. But I think it's like every time I hear a story about like grandpa owned this Rolex or something like that, I don't think grandpa was super into the Rolex. Like maybe he made a measured decision to purchase that Rolex at one point in his life, but it wasn't a huge part of his life, right? That seems to be for me the recurring theme, and when I hear about these
Yeah.
watches that get passed down for a generation or two. So don't buy watches for your kids. Buy them for yourselves, and if you want to give your kids something, give them cash.
Yeah, my dad got a Rolex from work for like however many years of work. He never wore it. He gave it to my brother's wife. She put it in a drawer. You know, I agree with Marcus.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
like the two-toned HS, I think. I'm not sure.
I,
Um,
I had those delusions too, like, oh yeah,
yeah.
this watch is going to be something I pass down to my kid. I mean, like I said that about every watch that I've gotten rid of, basically. And although my son, he's interested. He likes to like every once in a while. He's like, Daddy, let's go take a look at your watches in a watch box. And I'm like,
That
oh, that's cool. And
that's awesome.
he's like, when you die, and he's already saying he's 6 years old. He's already saying this.
He's
He's like,
into death.
yeah, 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 yeah. He's totally into death, by the way.
Yeah.
But he's like, when you die, okay, well, will you give me this one? And I'm like, yeah, okay, when I die, all right, sure, sure.
I think we've talked about this before, but the needing to have like a watch for every purpose, I think
Oh
is
yeah,
bogus.
yeah. You need to have the dress watch, right? You
Yeah,
need to
yeah. I
have.
think that I think can be traced to TGV, really, right? He was big into that. Dive watch, dress watch, field watch.
I still kind of think I still kind of buy into that. I mean, like I still like the fact, although I don't have like a dressy piece right now, like I
Yeah.
feel like my collection would be more complete right now if it did have a dressy piece.
If you like that idea and you want it, yes. But some people really don't want that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah,
like
that's true.
almost force themselves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got it. Yeah, I mean, and every time and the sad part is like I know how it'll play out every time because every time I've added a dress piece, it's gone because I'm like after a while I'm like I never wear it, I never go out anywhere. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just like,
But
but I
Rob,
think
don't you sit in your smoking room with a robe and a
Yeah.
cigar and a whiskey? Like
one
I
of
feel like
these,
you need that
I,
watch
I,
back.
you're absolutely right. I think I do plan on making that actually a reality one day. Like I don't know. I'm gonna have to put like bookshelves around, a room here, and then just have like a nice little like a velvet chair, and just like with a little pipe that blows bubbles or whatever it is, and just have my yeah
Gap One. You need a
yeah
Gap One for that.
oh
Because
yeah
I'm in full support of the Geo
yeah
Pano Reserve, but
yeah
and that's a
yeah the
nice
Gap
dress
one.
watch, but the Gap One is the putting on the
Mm.
slippers and
Yeah,
the bookcases and all that.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the
that's putting on the slippers. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
yeah.
Oh
The
yeah.
Geo's more like I'm wearing a polo shirt and jeans most of the time, but then I throw on a blazer like for this one special occasion kind of dress
that's the
watch.
Geo, exactly.
Yeah,
You
it's
guys are
not a
trying.
it's not a robe. It's not a robe and slippers kind of thing.
You
Well
guys are
said, Claudius.
you guys are trying to talk me into getting like a Gap one like tomorrow. I see what's happening here. Um, Chaz is saying, is it a myth that the boxes shouldn't be creased? Bobby likes. I think he's teasing somebody with that one. Box and papers, killing is the best way to start a fire. Um, Now, do you guys have a special closet where you keep your watch boxes and papers? Do you keep your okay? Okay, let me ask you. Okay, so answer that question first. I have follow up questions. Marcus, do you have like a special place that you keep all the boxes?
Uh, no, it's
Okay,
scattered around my scattered
okay,
around the master bedroom, and my wife
oh,
hates me for it.
Okay, what about you, Alvin?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you keep your papers in the box?
But it's not like organized like some of our friends. I've seen pictures of how they do stuff. It's not like that. You
Right,
know?
right, right.
They're crammed in a closet in pretty haphazardly, but
Yeah.
they are in the same closet. And I do keep papers, extra links, all the tags, all that kind of, random stuff in the box.
Yeah,
What about you, Marcus?
I
Same
do
thing?
too. I actually had a scare this weekend. I couldn't find one of my boxes. It
Mhm.
was the Chapek box. I was because I was about to go to the AD and like do a Sanjay
Oh, we
and
gotta
have
get into
and
that, Marcus. I was
uh,
wondering if you're gonna go there. We gotta
no,
get
no,
you,
no,
you
no,
we gotta
it
get
was a
into
it was a
this.
false alarm
Yeah. No,
because they
no,
were
but
closed.
but
Oh,
still.
well, hold on a second. Like, but to walk us through
Yeah,
that
yeah,
morning.
yeah. Back up and go
Back up a
slower.
little bit. I know
Yeah.
the AD was closed,
So
but
I was planning to go to the AD and I was all loaded up like Sanjay, right? I had the watches in the watch roll, like multiple watches in the watch roll. I found one of the boxes, and that was loaded into the car. Actually, two of the boxes loaded into the car. I was missing the third box, and that was the watch with the highest value. And I was
yeah.
like, oh crap, where's this box? So I was frantically searching like both my cars. I couldn't find it. I was searching under the bed. I was tearing apart the master bedroom. I couldn't find it. And then finally I realized it was at my clinic because I had lent that watch to Sanjay and
Mm.
he very kindly returned the box and me like an idiot, I forgot about it and I left it in like in the office manager's office
Mm.
in my clinic. So I had to I had to drive down unexpectedly to my clinic first before heading to the AD.
Now,
And all the way I was freaking out. And that was a snowstorm day too.
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
I
god.
was freaking out. I was like, "Dear God, please let that box be there. Otherwise, I have no idea where it is."
So, Ahmed, do you want to start the questioning here, or
Well, so if I understand correctly, you went full Sanjay style to the AD. Is that
Yeah,
right?
multiple watches, multiple watch boxes.
And you what if and the AD was closed that day?
Yeah.
And you would not have rolled in there with the boxes in hand, right?
No, no, no. I wouldn't have rolled
Yeah.
in with. I would have.
Yeah.
I rolled in with the watches in a roll, and I
Yeah.
left the boxes in the car. I
Yeah.
did not have the boxes in hand.
That's true Sanjay style.
yeah? So,
Yeah.
you would have. So you're gonna like carry like the role like a football. Like you're gonna just like kind of just like stroll right in, like Sanjay, like 6'9" Sanjay, like walking through like the bend whatever the AD was. Like you had it like that, or do you have it like in a little knapsack? Like how do you carry the role?
I had it in a over the shoulder kind of thing.
Oh,
You
okay.
would have done some feeling out and negotiating before revealing that you came with 3 watches, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think you give up some negotiation power
Yeah, that's true.
if you're in there like, I'm thinking about what I could trade these 3 watches for.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
But
no, no.
so
It would have been my negotiation would have been, can you get me this watch? Question number one.
Yeah.
It would be like a used car. Like, can you get me this watch? And B, would you take these watches in trade for that
Mm,
watch?
were
gotcha.
you upset or were you relieved when the AD was closed?
Um, I was a little. I'm pretty set on at least this trade offer.
Okay.
I yeah. So there's a very high likelihood he says no. So there's that part of it, but I'm pretty set on this sort of move.
So
Mm.
you were kind of like you're like you want to get the ball rolling here, and you're bummed out that they were closed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is something you haven't asked for before.
Uh, this is something very similar to what I've asked for before.
Mhm.
Hmm. 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 Let's see what the chat's got to say. Um, Rick saying you got to get authenticity via sending a piece in for service. Get
Mm.
service favors. Yeah, yeah.
It's a good
Uh,
option.
Colin saying generational watches need to be an only watch. None of us are here for one watch.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. None of us has the staying power, I think, to like wear a watch our whole lives and
Yeah,
then pass it down to the next generation.
nah, no,
Everything's gonna get
no way.
flipped.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I think the best the watch right now in our four collective collections that has the best chance of being a generational watch is Colin's Planet Ocean. That has the best chance.
My date justice is got a decent chance because it's been with me 22 years. I don't think I'm gonna
Yeah,
go anywhere
I
with
think
that.
that's got a chance too.
I would. Hey, I'm gonna throw my GP in there because, like, what can I get for it now anyway? You know what I mean? Like, and it was my first luxury watch, and I've had it for like, geez, like,
Is that a watch that your death obsessed son is interested in though?
That's a good question.
that's a good question. Um, so my my death obsessed son. Um, oh, I mean I, I I mean he likes them all. Like he says
Yeah.
it to about all of them. Like he hasn't really formulated an opinion on which one is his favorite. Um, but uh, but yeah, I think he takes them. He wants them all. He wants them all basically. That's funny. Um, none of Joe's are safe, right? None of Joe's are safe.
Mm, doesn't he have like a Seiko that his dad gave him or something like that?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he does have that. And then his Kadoka's is
Oh yeah, okay,
generational.
yeah,
It's got
and
his
it.
kids' signs on it and
Oh
everything.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, like he'd have to find somebody who has the same kids who have same signs or something like that.
Or not care?
Yeah, or not care, or not care.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it's Philippe Colic. I mean, like he was gonna sell that to me, and then he said no. So
His wife's watch that he because I feel like that took a lot of work to have
Oh, the
made for her.
Struthers.
the
The
Struthers. Yeah,
Struthers.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Struthers, I think, is sticking around. I, I I think most of his watches stick around, but I feel like the Struthers and the Kadoka have generational quality to them.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing, like with the Kadoki, like who does he give that to?
You got you know the one you like better than the other one.
Cho, if you're in the chat, let us know. Um, James is saying my dad told me a story of how he threw away a box of papers of the
Mm.
Rolex I eventually inherited. I think there's probably a lot of that back in the day.
My
Yeah.
dad absolutely throws away and would have thrown away any box and papers for any watch for sure.
I'm such a hoarder, guys. I still have my Mayer box and papers.
I do
Do you guys
too.
still have
Me
yours?
too.
Not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
lie.
me too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
me
do
too.
too.
Me too. Well, look, all the watches that so all the watches that are in my watch box, I do have. I don't have box and papers for my Panerai. But other than that, I have my box paper, and I keep it like I have a closet, and then like there's like a shelf where I guess is like you put miscellaneous things. So that's where all my watch boxes are for my automatic manual watches, and then like the G Shocks and all the digital watches, I have it in a plastic bin.
Hmm.
I'm like they're not you know they don't count. You know what I mean? So you get the bin and they of course they count and the other watches are in the room nice where boxes are nice and close to where I sleep. um okay. Maison saying replacing a cost certified certificate meant going back to Breitling. Oh wow. And side benefit was that it was served to authenticate the watch is genuine. Hey, Rick's saying birth year watches. I'm
Mm.
indifferent. Ahmed, you have a birth year watch.
Yeah, I find that very appealing, and I have one birth year watch and then one other like almost birth year watch, birth decade, and the idea of like continuing to pick up a cool '70s watch every once in a while for me is fun. Like it's I was looking at some
Mm.
'70s Rolex today, and not likely to buy anything soon, but yeah, I like it. I enjoy it. This stuff
Yeah,
that's as old as we are.
I once in a while I'll get into that mindset where like, oh, wouldn't that be cool? Um, and I guess it goes to like the buying the vintage thing, and how much of a non-expert I am in buying vintage, and the worry and the risk that is involved with buying something like that. That's really a situation where you're definitely buying the seller. You have to buy the seller on that one. But then I find like some of the ones that I like are just like, I don't know if I want to pay like several $1,000s for a 50-year-old watch, but maybe I have to get over that if I really want that, if that comes true. Anyway, that's in the very bottom of
Mm-mm.
my wish list. There's so many things that I, you know, rather have. Marcus, birth year watches, birth year,
I'm with
any?
Rick. I'm totally indifferent.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Unless it's like a really cool watch that happens to be my birth year. That's the only real way I'll get really interested. I mean, like, is your tag your birth year watch, Amin?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's a cool watch. That's a
Mhm.
really, really cool watch. The Montreal, right? Carrera, is it Carrera, Chrono?
Hoyer, Montreal.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I like it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Then that's a great watch.
I feel it
That,
was like a fun find, a good find, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If I found that like in a 1973
Mm.
version, if they made it, I don't know if they
They
did.
did? Yeah,
They
they
did.
made they in multiple
Mm,
colors.
mm.
We'll be the closest we have to a group watch of the five of us,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's
That
true.
that would be number 3. I mean, not including the mayor.
Kids
Well,
love German
what
watches
about the
because it's
Kermit? How many of us have Kermits now?
That's true too.
me and Joe don't, right? I mean, so
Yeah.
like three of you guys do.
That's
Yeah.
probably the most likely to become a group watch. Although
I,
Joe, I don't
yeah.
think Joe is going to come around, but we
I
could get
still
to
have
4.
faith for you, Bobby. Yeah, we can
Yeah,
get to 4.
we can get to 4 in a couple years. I think in a couple years for sure.
We can get to
Um,
4.
because I, like I mentioned, I think I want that as opposed to the regular no date sub. Um, what you been saying? I have no heirs. I have no idea what will happen to my watches when I die. Not even sure who will go to the trouble of selling them.
Mm.
Sounds like Waven's got to do some estate planning. Hey, Young Excellencies here. I have a watch for everything. Currently shopping for a check the mailbox watch. That's great. James, the significance of the screw down crown is not a myth, but with modern manufacturing and gaskets, its importance is overvalued. Hmm.
I think a lot of watch features are overvalued.
Yeah. Do
At
you
least,
do you
at least for me.
look? I mean, I'm not. I don't expect like a screw down crown on a dress piece.
Mm.
Um, but dive watch,
Mm.
kind of want one. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I feel. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's because I've heard that you have to have it,
I don't think you
but it
can.
just
I
makes
don't think
sense
you
to me.
can pass ISO without a screw down crown. Can you?
I don't think you can call it a ISO dive watch.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of dive watches that don't call themselves ISO dive watches, but they have like 200
Yeah.
meter water resistance and maybe don't have a screw down crown. Is that even possible? Yeah, maybe. Um, Maison saying covering all the bases method is just a way of collecting. Plenty of other collecting philosophies. At the end of the day,
Mm.
take whatever approach you like. Ultimately, buy
Yeah.
pieces that you like. Looks like I got to catch up here. Sanjay's on the trunk. Okay. Um, Colin said I can't. I currently can't find my Explorer 2 card.
Oh, that hurts.
Keith says I don't have many watches, but I hate sacrificing storage space in my house for watch boxes.
Mm.
I feel like Keith, like, is a very minimalistic kind of guy. Like, there's like one chair in the living room, maybe two, and like a table, and then like that's it. That's it. And
Keith
then maybe what? Yeah,
Keith
sorry.
comes up with reasons to not, to make himself, not happy about something.
Yeah, yeah,
He's admitted to that.
yeah. I feel like he's like one of these like having a TV as a projector kind of guy, like on the wall. You know what I mean? Like just like has a projector, and then there's the screen. Like there's no TV.
Like, I bet he has plenty of storage space in his house, and this
Yeah.
is just
Oh
like
yeah.
he just doesn't want to give up the.
Right. Uh, the Christmas tree is coming out of the wood chipper. Is coming out in a wood chipper only. That Christmas tree. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm having a little trouble. My eyes are tired. My eyes are tired today. I witnessed Sanjay do the same. The boxes don't appear until the deal is done.
I
Oh
think it's
man.
so great that they were Colin witnessed that. There was
Yeah.
video too. That was the best.
Wait, when
Yeah.
when was this? This is the recent one.
No, this was a while back when Sanjay. There was a video I remember of him walking in with the watches
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the look on his face, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like there was a picture of a Colin and Sanjay that day, right? They took. I feel like it was like Dikembe Mutombo and Muggsy Bogues like standing next to each other. Like Sanjay was that much taller than than than
That
Colin.
I
I don't
don't
know.
remember. That I don't remember.
Yeah.
Is Sanjay super tall?
He's taller than you think.
Okay, all right.
He's taller than you think. Um, hey Nilo, good to see you. How you doing? Um, let me just scroll down. I know I'm way behind here. Uh, what are you doing for mildew control or climate control in general for your boxes?
Oh man.
Uh, okay. I mean, I have a dehumidifier in my bedroom.
Hmm.
Just because, um, no, I'm sorry, I have a humidifier in my bedroom because in the winter it's dry, but in the summer, you know, we have, the humidity is good. I don't know. I don't know. Do you guys have any kind of temperature control situation?
No, but then
Okay.
none of my watches are like 50 years old and have boxes that are falling apart.
My GP box is falling apart, I have to say. And it's only 17, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
I got some boxes falling apart for sure.
Chess stores his in a hyperbolic chamber. Um, Keith is saying, I almost moved my boxes to the garage, but thought that would not be Hobby Bobby approved.
Yeah, that's probably the worst possible place to put your box and papers, I would assume.
That's how it would be if I didn't have a yeah. Colin was saying it was about 18 months ago and it was the best video he'd ever taken. Um,
Colin, can you share that with me later? Like message. I need to see that video.
it's a great video.
Like we'll touch
Uh,
base. We'll touch base later.
yeah. AC in the house seems to do the trick for Marceau. Oh man, you need it down there where you live, Marceau. I think you're in Louisiana. Jeez. Um, my Omega box looks like crap. Dan says, yeah, yeah. Well, there you have it, man. Look, I'm low energy, guys. I'm ready to call it quits just because
Yeah.
I'm pretty beat.
Oh,
There is one more myth though, guys. There's a
Oh, yeah.
huge myth in the hobby.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's a bigger myth than Santa Claus, Merlin, and Teddy Baldazar's girlfriend combined. Like, and that's the myth that like you have to own Watch X to be a true collector.
Okay.
I don't think anybody needs to own any one watch to enjoy the hobby. Like, you know how they
That
say you have to own a Rolex, or you have to own a
have a
Speedmaster,
Speedmaster.
or you
Yeah,
have
those.
to
Yeah,
have a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Seiko.
Yeah, yeah.
I bought into that for a really, really long time. And maybe it's because of I watched too much Archie, but Submariner and Speedmaster. You know
People
what I
say
mean?
that about the Speedmaster all the time. Like for years now, I've been hearing that about the Speedmaster.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, man, I don't know if you have to have it in your collection, but I feel like you kind of have to experience some of these watches. You know what I mean? And I know that's very what's his name? The guy from Utah with the big hair esque,
Bruce Williams.
Bruce Williams esque. You know what I mean? Saying that, but I think I think I in my watch journey, like part it will be partially complete once I own a Speedmaster for a while. Whether I keep it or not, I don't know. But I mean, I do really honestly feel that way.
Hmm.
Anyway, hey, Colin is saying Sanjay's video will be up in Black's Discord. Thanks for plugging the Discord, Colin. Everyone subscribe, join, and tell your friends. uh, True collectors unite. Hey guys, please. Oh, thanks, Maison. Appreciate it. Appreciate the vote. Well, guys, look. Like I said, I'm calling tonight. Had a rough day today with the water removal in the basement. But we're gonna have another episode of Watch Soup. I know we haven't been consistent with that. But we're going to bring it back for Sunday. I think we're going to actually get pre-record it this time to get Sanjay back in the fold because Sanjay his weekends are tight. So we're going to pre-record that, and then I'll do a premiere of it on Sunday night, and I'll work the chat on the premiere. Anyway, hey, Amin, Marcus, thank you so much for joining
Thanks,
me this
Rob.
evening. I really, really appreciate it. And everyone in the chat, thank you. Thanks again. And see you next week. Take care. Good night.
Good night,
Thanks,
guys.
guys. Good night.